Did you know that more people now get their news online than from any other source? MaineWebNews.com covers the current events forming the trends of tomorrow. Experience the future of Maine news today at MaineWebNews.com.
Gubernatorial candidate Paul LePage took time out of his busy schedule today to sit down with Maine Web News. Here's our 30-minute interview. Paul, thanks for coming back on with me.
My pleasure.
Great to see you again. Back in, I believe it was November of '09, we sat down to an interview. You just started out. I got some emails from Waterville folks that didn't even know you were running for mayor at that point. Now one of us got famous in the meantime.
Fame is not all what it's cracked up to be.
How does it feel to know that everyone in Maine that's conscious knows that face now?
Well, my wife loves it.
Well, let's kind of get to know our front runner for the next governor.
Sure.
What, when you get a chance, you probably don't have a whole lot of free time these days, but when you do get a chance, what do you like to watch on television?
We generally, when I have a moment, I watch either Forensic Files or Law and Order SUV.
There you go. Kind of like the detective, put the puzzle together type of stuff.
My wife's always wanted to be an FBI agent, so we watch that and we enjoy it.
Excellent. How about an all-time favorite movie?
You know, all-time favorite movie, I have three, and they're all basically the same type of movies. There's Rudy, who was a football player. Remember the Titans, and the most recent one, which I absolutely think is a phenomenal movie, is Blindside.
Great choices, interesting. Very competitive.
It's actually, my like of the movies is they're very competitive, but it's the story behind them that strike me the most interesting. Rudy is odds, he beat the odds. Remember the Titans beat the odds, and Blindside beat the odds.
So if you're elected to the LeBlanc House, you think you'll be another story of a guy beating the odds? It would seem that way.
Well, quite frankly, I've beat the odds so far. I mean, when we started that campaign, I was, who is Paul LePage? Then about April, they're saying, you know, he might be a dark horse. And recently we heard he's the big horse in the race.
Absolutely.
So I think we've climbed the ladder rather quickly.
Seems it. So what kind of music do you like to listen to, and where do you typically get a chance to listen to your music?
Actually, music is not something I've been listening to of late, but generally it's the 50s, 60s, 70s, you know, the Elvis Presley type music and that type of, I like Motown music an awful lot, Gladys Knight, Stevie Wonder, those type of artists I've followed much of my career.
Classic rock and roll,
classic. Yeah.
If you could set a few examples as our leader, what sort of traits would you like to see other people emulate in you?
Honesty, perseverance, and never back down. If you believe in it, follow your heart, follow your instincts, and fight for what is yours. And that's basically why I'm running for governor. It's all about the state is going in the wrong direction. We need to take it back. The state right now has been down a path of power and control, power and control, power and control. And it's time that the people of Maine wake up and say, let's take our state back and govern it. We, the people, will elect you to work for us.
So do you think that a lot of voters have framed the race that way and see you as the guy to lead us out of that?
I hope so, because that's the direction I'm going in. It's all about taking government back and listening to what Maine people want for legislation, want for, you know, we need jobs, and we want to listen to Maine people. It's not about the people in Augusta. The people in Augusta should be serving the needs and wants of the people of Maine. And that's been missing now for the last 35 years. It started 35 years ago, and it's been going in that direction more and more. It's what I call mission creeping. We've got a government now that thinks they know best. They know more about what we need and want than what we need and want. And so we just need to change it. It's about the people of Maine. And it should be, we're a representative republic, and we need to get back to those ideals.
Sounds like some great ideals to me. The governor can't do it all alone, so could you tell me someone in the current legislature that you admire for their legislative service?
And, you know, there's so many. That is such a tough question, because in trying to think of it, I come up with a dozen names. But basically, rather than an individual, it's an ideal. It's someone that is doing it for the right reason, someone that's serving and wants to be in public service to serve the people of his constituent, the people of Maine. And it makes no difference to me what party affiliation or whether you have a party affiliation. If you're going there to represent the people that elected you, I think that's what I'm looking for in representation. There are great people in the state. And the people of Maine are good people. They're independent people. They want good jobs, they want small government, and they want to be left alone. And there's an element in Augusta that just doesn't believe that. They believe that they know best. And they've taken us 35 years of down a certain path, and today we face a $1 billion deficit, a $4.4 billion shortfall in the retirement system, and regulations that discourage job creators from investing in Maine.
What can a governor do, if anything, to help out with the Maine retirement system, pension crisis?
Well, frankly, we are looking at it right now. We have two of my opponents in the primaries, Senator Peter Mills and Bruce Poliquin, that are both looking at it, and both of them are very experienced in those areas. The bottom line is, the people who work for the state were signed on with a certain program. And we have to do everything in our power to honor our commitment to the state employees. And I firmly believe that, and the last thing that we would ever do is to change the state employee system. But I do believe that going forward, in people that are be hired in the future, that we need to change the system, because the way we're set up now, it's not sustainable for the long term. So we need to have instead of a defined pension plan, we need to go to a more contribution type system, like a 401k system, or even, combination of Social Security and 401k, or maybe even a state retirement, but have some limits and not give away the farm. The benefits are very rich. We're 1.3 million people in the state of Maine. We're taxed already to one of the highest in the country, so we just can't sustain it. We have a deficit. We have to make it up. Now, the deficit's caused by two things. One is the performance of the stock market certainly hasn't helped, but even more importantly, over the years, we keep going back to the well and give a little bit, make it a little richer, a little richer, a little richer, and we've got to the point where you have a dip in the economy, and all of a sudden you get a $4.4 million deficit.